Welcome back, guys, to the Front Porch Podcast. Me and Lincoln is going. Today we're going to talk about, everybody's always telling Lincoln what an inspiration he is and talking about how tough he is and all the things he's been through. And I want to talk a little bit about family today and kind of give you a little background into why I think Lincoln is tough and where a lot of his inspiration comes from.
Welcome back to the podcast with Lincoln and Grandadder. I'm Lincoln and this is Grandadder. I know he already introduced us, but today, we're just going to talk about some more family stuff and make sure you guys like and subscribe and stay tuned for more podcast episodes or just any videos I do on my channel in general. I do lots of videos about my Kidneystory, podcast. I do films and stuff. I'm a kidney disease survivor trying to become a filmmaker, podcaster with Grandadder here. And make sure you guys subscribe to be part of the Link Strong community at Kidney Kid 123. So Grandadder, you want to go ahead and start us off with your topic for today? Grandadder thought up a good topic and told me about it and wanted to talk about this today, so I thought it would be a good podcast subject.
All right, so my nieces and nephews used to tease me and my sister about, we would sit up late at night at her house and philosophize is what they called it.
Which is what we do here on the Front Porch Podcast.
Yep, and me and Lincoln's carrying on the tradition. We philosophize all the time.
That's what we do on the Front Porch Podcast.
So my sister and I used to talk about family a lot and talk about things from way back, and she was a religious person and knew a lot about the Bible, and we talked about one of the conclusions that we came to was that God has blessed our family because for as far back as we can tell, as far back as we know, and I've done some family history research and everything that I've seen, our family has basically been good people for a long time. They've been compassionate, caring people that take care of their friends and neighbors and family, and we're all a very close family. And so we just feel like, number one, that God has blessed us for that. But talking about where Lincoln draws his strength, I want to talk about my mom and dad. And my mom and dad were both born in 1920. And of course, everybody knows in 1929 the stock market crashed, and during the 1930s, it was a very tough time in this country for everybody. It was the Great Depression. First off, my dad's mom got sick when he was 5 or 6 years old. He had started the school, and he had to quit school and come home and help his brothers with the farm because his mom got sick with yellow fever. And she wound up died when she was 15. And so he had to go and live with some neighbors and kind of work for room and board, plus I think he made $10 a month, plus room and board. But he was only 15 years old when his mom died.
Yellow fever must have been rough, huh?
Bad stuff.
Is it kind of like the COVID, or you think worse?
It was
compared to all sicknesses,
it attacked your liver, so basically your liver died. So anyway, but my mom and dad got married in 1937, and we'll save that for another day, but I got some funny stories about that. But they this was 1937 during the heart of the Depression. Times were really hard. My grandmother had 6 children,
Wow.
and she was a single mom trying to raise 6 children. My mom's dad left when she was 12. And so they were having a struggle, and Mom and Dad got married, and the first job that Daddy had was him and my grandmother both worked for a man that owned a big farm and had a big house, and my grandmother worked in the house and washed clothes and did housework and cooking, whatever. And my daddy worked in the fields, and he worked for 50 cents a day from daylight till dark plowing mules. And so that's what I want to talk about Daddy. He said this man had a horse. Daddy called him a big-footed horse. I know he was talking about a draft horse that he plowed with. And so he had, at one time, he had 35 acres of corn. He was siding corn, which meant going down every middle between corn rows with a middle buster throwing the dirt up to the corn. And this horse would not walk. He always trotted. And so Daddy plowed that trotting horse all day long the first day. And then he said on the second day, about 10 o'clock in the morning, he finished up that 35 acres of corn. And it was hot. It was in June, and it was a hot summertime. And so he pulled up under the shade tree. The man that owned the place was sitting under a pecan tree. And Daddy pulled the horse up where the man was sitting just to cool off and give the horse a break and give him a break and talk for a few minutes. And he said when they stopped the horse, he fell over like somebody had shot him. He just fell over. And Daddy said, "The fool has trotted himself to death." And the man said, "Nah, he'll be all right." He said they sat there for about 30 minutes talking. He said after a while that horse started blinking his eye, and in a few minutes he jumped up, and he was okay. So he put him back in the lot, and let him rest up a couple of weeks before they plowed him again. And when he hooked him back up, he went right back to trotting. But the point of the story is, I asked Daddy, I said, how in the world did you wrestle a plow behind a trotting horse from daylight till dark in the hot summer sun? How in the world could you do that?
Yeah, because it had to be hot
It was.
and not heat all day and all night. I mean, at nighttime, usually the weather gets cooler, but still during the day, I'm sure it was hot.
But Daddy's answer was, I was 18 years old, I weighed about 145 pounds, and I was tough as foot leather. Because, keep in mind, he had been plowing mules since he was 5 or 6 years old. In fact, he made the crop by himself the year that he was 9 years old.
Wow.
Had a little bit of help from his brothers, but he mainly did the majority of it himself.
At just 9 years old.
At 9 years old. So
Wow.
he was obviously very tough. And Mama was the same way. During her lifetime, she worked and helped Daddy. Everything that he did, she did, plus raising a family and cooking and cleaning and taking care of everything. But the thing about Mama, she lived to be 92 years old.
Her goal was to make it to 100. Right?
Yeah, she wanted to make it to 100,
Yeah.
but she didn't quite make it.
Her birthday and my birthday are the same.
But the thing about Mama is, her attitude was, she would fall and break her arm, or one time she fell and broke her hip, but the thought never crossed her mind that she wasn't going to go right back to doing everything that she had always done. Lincoln has a lot of that same attitude. We're amazed all the time at how much he acts like my mom and has her attitude, but it just never crosses his mind that everything is not going to be okay and he's going to be fine and he's going to be able to do whatever he wants to do. And so attitude is everything, has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, and I've seen, and from other people's perspectives too, I've seen like a lot of people tell me like, it's amazing all the stuff you can do at just 16 years old. Just, you know, everybody tells me, I don't know how you can do that. Like, they're always like, there's no way that even if we tried, we can't do that. Like, nobody else knows how to do that. And they're like, you just do it so much better than I could. If I had that back in the day, or if I could do this then, or, you know, anything like that, I wouldn't be as good as you. You know, you were just really good at all this stuff. And everything that I go through too, and just anything and everything, you know.
I'm obviously very proud of him. My mama, one of mama's sayings always was, it's a poor chicken that won't praise her own business. And we told my neighbor that the other day, and he said, yeah, and you can add to that no matter how rotten they get. But I am proud of Lincoln. He's a good guy and an inspiration to everybody, and he wants to uplift everybody.
Yeah, my goal in life, and I even told my mama this, that the reason I wanted to do what I do, you know, not just in daily life, I mean, for daily life and medical wise and everything like that, not just that, but like the reason I wanted to document all of that, because that, like, I wanted to show kids, adults, doesn't matter who it is, I wanted to show them that kidney stuff, no matter what you're going through, isn't as bad as you think it is, or isn't as bad as you see it to be, or hear it, or like if you hear something about it, or you see something about it, and you think, oh my, if I have to go through this, that's kind of scary, you know, and all that.
Lincoln's anxiety has always been worse.
Right, and I've always
he would
had
dread things
anxiety
so
too.
bad, and then once it's so, he's like, is that it?
Yeah. But I've got better with that too, honestly.
Yeah,
That's another medical thing I've gotten better with, was my anxiety and stuff like that. You know, because I've always had a fear of needles and stuff like that, but I've gotten better with, I mean, as much as I still don't like it, I've gotten better with it and stuff like that. So it has gotten better in a way and all that.
So we're gonna wrap this one up for now. That's we're getting on pretty long with time, so.
Yeah. But thank you guys for tuning in and watching, and make sure you guys like and subscribe, and thanks for joining me and Grandadder on the Front Porch Podcast as always. And you got anything to say before we wrap up, or you want to just...
I don't have any wisdom today.
You don't got no wisdom today?
Nothing but just keep a positive attitude. It goes a long way.
Thank you guys for joining, and we'll catch you on the next episode.